Hello, and welcome to the Marble Security Podcast. My name is Dave Jevons, and I'm the host of the program. Today we're going to be talking about critical threat number 7 for your mobile and remote workers. That threat is unpatched operating systems. Unpatched operating systems are dangerous for a couple of different reasons. In the traditional PC and Windows world, hackers develop zero-day attacks that exploit vulnerabilities that have been found in versions of the operating system. They use the criminal underground to distribute those vulnerabilities, to sell them to other criminals, and they eventually get posted out there widely available, which means that more and more attackers can easily take advantage of that new vulnerability that was found in the operating system. So the longer your users are using an older, unpatched version of the operating system, which doesn't have security fixes for that threat, the more and more vulnerable they become because criminals get that software and there's more and more attacks against them. In the mobile world, we face a similar threat, but there's one slightly different angle to it. Take a look at the Android operating system. It's great. It's open source. However, there are a great many variants of it. If we start allowing users to bring their own devices in, which is a huge trend today, you're not exactly sure what device they've got, what version of the operating system they've got, what ROM is in there, what patches have been applied by the vendor. I've done some research and found 4,000 different hardware platforms for Android, each with their own different ROM and patches and configurations of the operating system. In fact, there are over 600 vendors of Android hardware. This means that being able to ensure that your users who are coming in to your network, to your cloud services, using their mobile devices, need to be on a version of the operating system which has modern patches applied to it and which is at a sufficient security level to not have major security vulnerabilities. I'm recording this podcast in July of 2013, and a recent vulnerability has been exposed in the Android operating system that's frankly been around for 4 years, and it allows attackers to take legitimate Android apps that have been digitally signed and to insert malicious code into them and create their own malicious versions of those apps. Now, Google has released an update to the operating system to 4.2, which will fix this problem on the validation of digital signatures, but the vast majority of users are not up at that patch level yet. And over time, this is going to start spreading into the criminal underground. In fact, in the last few days, we've started to see live in the wild exploits of this vulnerability where popular applications are being reposted by attackers injected with malicious code. So my recommendation is that you have an agent on your end user devices, whether they're owned by you or whether they are BYOD, bring your own devices into the network or into your cloud services, and you're able to check and enforce access controls based on the users having up-to-date operating systems with up-to-date patch levels. I'm Dave Jevons, and I look forward to talking to you next time on the Marble Security Podcast.